Hey guys, welcome to another video by Fitness Technology Services. So today there's another service call video and I've been sent out to replace this wire harness. But this is not exactly fun to do. So I'm going to remove the hood and I'm going to install the external wire harness on the outside before I run it through. I just want to make sure that's what the problem is. So I got to remove all these screws on the hood, and on the new F63s, there's one screw here where you actually have to fold the machine to get to it, to get it exposed. So I'm going to do that real quick and I'll be right back with you. All right, so you kind of got to fold the machine up in its fold up position like this to get to these two screws here. All right, so I'm going to take this off, and there's one on the opposite side of this. So no need to get in your way for that. I'm kind of just learning how to do these videos by myself. So if there's any mistake, actually that's pretty good. You can see that. All right, so now I'm going to put the machine down basically. Because this machine is having an E5 error code. Now, an E5 error code just means communication error. So a bad controller's communication error, pinch wire, actual bad AC coming in can do that. So for an E5, you really got to look. Open this bad boy up and look at the machine. All right. So we're going to take the hood off. All right, so right off the bat, that's a good sign. The light is solid, not flashing. Hang on 1 second, I'm going to show you that light. So when troubleshooting the controller and or the main wire harness, you really want to start with looking at that light. You want to make sure that light is not pulsing or flashing, so to speak. So it's nice and solid. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing the wire harness. All right, I'll be with you in 1 sec. All right, so here are 3 wire harnesses. And I'm going to replace these one at a time until I can find out what the fault is, all right? Usually if there is a fault in a wire harness, it's right here. Right here where this connection is, okay? So I'm going to remove this. Got 2 screws right here. Then I got to remove the cover. You can't see that, so I'm going to show you that as time goes on. So these screws are pretty easy to remove down here. We'll just kind of start with this. It really can't be too much easier than that. You can't really feel the wire harness in here. There's a little bracket. I guess it's a support bracket. I guess. Either way, it's in the way. Next thing we got to do is I'm going to have to turn the machine off because we got to pick this glue off down here, all right? So I need a little small, tiny screwdriver for that, which this is the one I use. So I'm going to pick this glue off right here. Okay. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's usually a lot of glue on these contact points. All right, so the next thing now is we got this off. I got to work my way up, so I'm just going to change the angle of the view. I'm not going to do that without bothering it too badly. Yeah. All right, so I did have to change the angle of my camera phone a little bit because I got to remove these screws up here. These are actually pretty easy to do. Where's the screwdriver? These are Phillips, by the way. All right. Better screwdriver worked better. Now these caps look like they're going to fall right off, but we don't care about that. They're hollow little weightless pieces of plastic. No, all right, so that's good. So there's a front screw. There's one right here. All right, there's usually one more. In here. Come on. And hopefully you don't have to fumble around quite so much like I did, but it is what it is. And I lost it. This always makes it more difficult. Come on. Feel his head. I might actually have to take a flashlight. Oh, no good. Lost it again. It's going to make me break down and use a flashlight. I can't. I just can't. Alright. That's what I like happen. Alright. So the next thing we got to do, and I may stop the camera for a second, so we got to loosen this up enough, because we want to get and visit the other end of the wire, inspect the other end of the wire harness. All right, so that usually takes 2 number 6s right here. I'm going to get set up for that, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so it was a number 6. I'm usually right on that, just because, you know, I've done 100 of them. Number 6 seems to be the most popular with most treadmill manufacturers, really. Johnson's Metals uses it for a lot of stuff. All right. Feels like that. They were a little mean on that Allen. Had to be a little careful on that. So if you have a Allen screw that this Allen doesn't fit in too well, make sure, because you don't want to strip that. Even if you have to take your socket and tap it into the hole, make sure it goes in as deep as it possibly can, because you don't want to strip this. All right? Not the end of the world, but a pain in the butt. So we're going to push this up a little bit just for testing, and we're going to get to where the wire harness is. Okay. So hopefully, can you see that? So now we got the wire harness. So before I go through all the effort to run it up there, I'm going to run this one on the outside and make sure that gets rid of our E5. All right. So, give me 1 second here. All right, so you can't see both at the same time. So I'm going to put you on pause, whatever. I'll be right back with you. I'm going to show you what I'm doing down here. All right, I'm back again. So I'm just going to pre-connect the lower and the middle wire harness. Nice good connection, so we don't have to worry about that. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but make sure you have your machine turned off. Mine currently is. Then I'm going to connect the new wire harness into the controller itself. Here's the old one. This is our new setup right here. And I'm going to connect this to the upper console, because usually if this does get pinched, it gets pinched between here when they assemble the frame. All right. So let's see if this makes a difference. And here is the upper console. Hard to see, but let's find out. All right. So once I figure out how the pins go in, just kidding on that. So that's pretty exposed. You can see that. Can't see the lower half because it's in the controller itself, but I think you'll have the right idea. All right, so this had an E5. Turn it back on. It's beeping. So I'm going to put you on hold for 1 second, and I'll let you know if I was successful or not, and then I'll have to run the wire harness. Hold on. All right, so I temporarily installed the wire harness. I did it on the outside. You can see the original one still not hooked up. Console's coming on. I'm going to hit start and see what happens. Okay, so that's looking like it was the wire harness. So let's go up, incline up. All right, so that, troubleshooting wise, I actually fixed it, so we know it needs a wire harness. So now I get to show you how to install a wire harness. All right, so I'll be back with you again. All right, so the wire harness did fix it. So I'm going to show you how to install the wire harness. It's actually easier. It takes a couple seconds longer, but it's really easier if you remove the console. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side that I did to this side. I'm just going to remove the 2 screws and take the cover off. I don't want to hold your time up on that, so I'll be with you in 1 more sec. All right, so I removed both sets of screws, 2 here, 2 there. Now there's really nothing holding the console, so you got to make sure you keep a good hand on it, or maybe have somebody else help you. I don't have that luxury, so I'm going to do it by myself. And put that down here, out the way, I guess. All right, so now you see you don't have any way up here. It's just going to be easier. This, I don't believe, is a number 6. It's smaller. I'll be right back with you again. It's a number 3, I think, but I don't want to spend all your time looking at me hunting for parts. Hey guys, I'm back. So this ended up being a number 5 Allen head. Then after that, we got to come down here and remove these 4 1/2-inch, 13 millimeter hex head. So I removed, there's 4 of them down here. So I remove 3 of them, just because you don't have to watch me remove every single bolt. I don't want to bore you to death. But the one thing I did want to say that I forgot to mention, when I installed the temporary wire harness, as you can see, I ran the incline up. The reason why I did that is I want a little working room underneath here. So once the incline was up, I turned it off so that it would stay there. We can even unplug it just to be in a double safe sure. But we want it up when we go to work on this wire harness, so it gives us a little bit more room, all right? So I got these down to just 1. So I'm just going to remove just this one. Oh yeah, I can see that that's broken right now. So we don't want to let it go too far. So we're going to lay the handlebar down. Upright, I think they call it. All right. So it looks like, unfortunately, the piece that got smushed, hold on, and I'm going to angle this so you can see it a little better, is the piece that goes up to that. So, of course, that's the hardest to replace piece, but it is what it is, so to speak. So I'm going to disconnect it. If I'm strong enough. All right, so I'm leaving this alone for right now. Doesn't seem to be any damage to the lower wire harness. And I am going to replace this upper wire harness. I guess what I'll do, I don't want to seem too cocky and just say I'll shove it up there. So hold on for 1 second. I'm going to get some tape. And I'm going to tape this snugly. And I'm hoping to use it as a pull line. All right, now one thing they have on the original ones, they have this tag. So we want to get that out of there so it don't get caught on anything. All right, so I think I'm actually going to flip this handlebar around So I am going to put, as you see, hang around right there, the actual handlebar. So the other piece will just hopefully pull smoothly down. All right, so can we see that? Yes, we can. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to get some tape. All right, so I'm going to wrap a few layers of tape on this. I like to tape them end to end. I don't like to cross it over and make it thicker. I want it to be as close to the size as it can be. So I'm just wrapping some tape. I waste a lot of tape on this, but it sure is worth it because I hate doing it twice. So I'm going to go back down around again, and then I'm going to go way up here again just to make sure everything's good and break that off, okay? So I'm going to flip this handlebar around again so that you can see me pulling on the other end. This way I don't have to change the angle of the camera too much. So let's see, we'll try it this way. Can you see a little bit of all? Yes, you can. Okay. So here's the new wire harness. And here is the old original wire harness, all right? So I'm just going to... So I actually don't like to pull on this too much and put a lot of pressure on it. I actually like to feed it from the other end, and I'm just kind of using this to take the slack, really. I'm always nervous about redoing something. I don't like it. Should be getting pretty close. All right, so now I'm down to this hole down here. Let's see. Come on, baby. Be nice. Also, just so you know, these connections are just barely fit connections. Okay, good. So I'm going to put you on hold for a second. I got this end and I got this end. No need for you to watch me pull all this tape off. I'll be right back with you. All right, so it's successful, at least getting it through here. I guess we don't want to lose it on this end. That'd be kind of a bummer. So I'm just going to use and waste a little more tape. I told you I waste a lot of tape. And hopefully I'll even get through this job and have enough tape. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we are going to connect this bad boy. Going to connect these two wire harnesses right down here. Probably can't see that too well. This post itself is going to block your view, but there's nothing I can do about it. So I will try to explain it to you while I do it. So right now, I'm just connecting these two. Okay. And while I got plenty of room, I'm going to actually put the connection on the other side where the frame is, so that if I need to replace the lower wire harness, the connection's not inside of here. It's a pain in the butt. All right? So I don't think I will, because it tested fine with it, but I always want to make sure. So I guess it's a good idea to make sure we're not re-pinching the wires now, huh? All right. So I guess I could have used a little more light, but I don't have it. It is what it is, so to speak. Let me do that real quick. All right. Sorry for the delay. But I gotta line these holes back up, like so. Just gonna get me one started, or so I think. All right, that's annoying. I'm gonna put this one in this hole, my little screwdriver over here, so I know that's lined up. And then I'm gonna try and put the bolt in. So, a little pressure on it with my foot. I go over just a little bit more and kind of feel it right there. I can't quite get it. Come on. Alright. So sorry my foot's blocking the way. But I am currently tightening down this bolt right here. And once you get one, then the rest of them are going to be good and on the run. Alright, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to put this back here, put this back here, and put this one right here. And I will get back to you in a couple of minutes. No point in really watching that. So hang on for 1 sec. Okay, so I've reasonably tightened back the, I don't know what size they are, for, 1/2 inch, 13 millimeter hex head bolts. I've originally put these number 5s back. I'm going to go get the console now and put the console back on. I guess I'm going to kind of videotape that just so you can see that, really. So that means I need to get these 2 screws together close by because it's going to be heavy. All right, so hang on 1 second. Hopefully you can see this. So if you assembled your own machine, you'll know this already, but you have to be careful. There's 2 little tabs. There we go. Make sure they don't slip in. All right, so now this is heavy again. So you got to kind of put some pressure down on it so it doesn't flip backwards. Not a lot, really. And then I'm pressing up on it just a little bit. All right. So I usually like to do the side that doesn't have the wire harness in it first. Maybe subconsciously I think that's easier. I don't know. I don't have my number 6 on me. I should have kept that around, but I didn't. All right, so we're just going to do these by hand. So I got the connection out of the little slot where it can move easily. I don't want to pinch anything. So we're over here now. Got to line these holes up. Right there. Come on, baby. Alright, so I think I'm going to tighten this side down. It seems like it's a little crooked to the left and to the right. So I'm going to use my hand number 6. Alright, that way I know for sure the console can't fall. And use my little screwdriver to line this up. That feels pretty good now. Tighten this back up. See if that'll help the holes line up a little better. Feels good. I'm going to do that where you can see. Basically, I'm not doing nothing but turning this bolt in place. Alright, that's enough for I can get my ratchet. Alright, so hang on 1 second, I'm going to get my ratchet and get that done. So basically, I'm just going to put these 4 bolts back, screws, whatever you want to call them. Take off my tape. rehook this. So for practical purposes, we're done. I still got to put the undercovers on, and I got to get these bolts back in. But I'll tape that again. But just in case, that's it really. I'll be with you in a second. I'm going to reinstall the original wire harness on the lower half because it didn't seem like it had any issues. Then I'll turn it back on with you. Oh, I did tape that. Okay, good. Okay, so I put most of the screws back. This is the one that gave me a little issue earlier where I said sometimes you have to tap them in. So hopefully you can see that. But anyway, if you can't, I'm tapping the Allen in to make it go as deep into the Allen head as I possibly can. Real important on these Allen heads. They strip pretty easy. Alright. Wire harness is good, moves freely. Should always move freely. If it's not pinched, you should be able to hear it wiggle. Alright, so now I'm going to turn it on and then do the covers. So I don't know if you're going to be invited to the covers or not, because I don't know if it's necessary. Alright, so it sounds good. Hold on one second, let's go check it out. Alright, so here we go. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. No E5. This is with only the center wire harness, which is typically the one that gets pinched, as you saw. But it could be the lower. But I always check them both out. All right? Can you see that? So clearly no E5. Belt's turning. Put it on a speed of 4 so it goes a little faster. Okay. Incline to make sure the incline's still working. Although everything worked when I had it installed on the outside of the frame. So unless I re-pinch the wire, I was pretty sure I was going to be good on that. Let's check all the buttons. Yeah. Can't really do anything with the program or enter because we're already in a program. Alright, so that's kind of really about it. I may leave the camera on to put the covers back on. But you kind of got the idea. So if you're asked to change the wire harness, that's really the best way of doing it. That way you kind of troubleshoot it at the same time by doing it on the outside before you run it through there. Not an impossible job, but I don't like doing anything I don't have to. All right. Anyway, thanks so much for viewing. This is the Sole F63, as you can see. The 85 on these newer units are a little different. So when I get a chance to do one of them, well, you know, I'm going to do it for you. All right. So that's it for today. Thanks for viewing. Don't forget, please subscribe to my channel. And I guess that's really it for today. All right. Thanks a lot. All right. Hey, guys. So a lot of you guys that like to get your things done and fast forward everything and get to the point on mine. But I am going to put this end cover, underneath cover back on. But mainly I wanted to show you my version of how to do this wire harness. Normally when you pull it out, this is like tucked down inside this upright here. So once you've redone it, it's much better off to kind of just put it up here in this pocket just in case you ever need to get to it again, all right? So I don't drop it back down in this upright. I just run it through here. There's a little teeny bit of space right here, just enough for the wire, and I tuck it up in it, all right? It'll give you an extra ½ inch of wire, and it won't really pinch it. So the covers themselves, I don't think, are all that big of a deal. You kind of just go in here like this, all right? And then they go in here like that. And of course, you just put in the screw, the screw, the screw, all right? So I just wanted to show my little wire harness trick. And now that's about it. So thanks again for viewing. Thanks for putting up with me. And I'll get some other videos out to you. All right, thanks.